Hello, I'm Councillor Richard Edwards, and I'm the lead councillor for the Place Plan project for Newtown and Llanfairpwllgwyngyllgogerychwraig Iron Town Council.
Hi, I'm Sorelle White and I'm the project officer on the Newtown Llanfairpwllgwyngyllgogerychwraig Place Plan. And thanks very much for inviting us to share a little bit about our Place Plan journey with you.
So Newtown Town Council have led on the project since the beginning, but we have had expert help from outside. We've used planning expertise from consultants, Planning Aid Wales and Play Studio, and we've also had funding and guidance from the planning policy team at Powys County Council. I'm sure you all know Newtown well, but just a bit of background. We have got a population of 11,357. We're the largest town in rural Powys and a service centre for the area as well. We do have good road and rail connections. And a bit of history. We were founded by Edward I in 1297, and we were also designated a new town, possibly the oldest new town in Wales in 1967. And also we've got many attractive buildings in the town, and we're on the banks of the River Severn. So why did we want a place plan? Well, the Town Council wanted to build on the work of Newtown Community Action Plan and even work such as I Love Newtown that had come before that. And we also wanted to embed the needs of the residents in the way the council worked. And also change was coming to Newtown anyway. So we had the bypass. And so it was, for us really, it was about to plan for change rather than let change happen to us. Also, when we started this, we'd had good experience of how we've been able to draw money into the town. So we've been looking at taking the land over in Newtown, that's 130 odd acres from Powys County Council, and we'd used evidence to bring in £1.1 million of big lottery project money. And at that time, it was the largest community asset transfer in Wales. And that had been put together because of the evidence collected in the Newtown Community Action Plan. But it's also important to consider the focus, the scale and the links with other plans. So what type of plan, what function does it need? We spent a significant amount of time on stage one, just discussing what we thought should be in it and what shouldn't. And it's also important to be clear. So you can bring all of the councillors, officers along with you on the council. We decided to include both supplementary planning guidance and wellbeing in our plan, making it a sort of Place Plan Plus. So we've got a wide range of topics, which we will show you later on. And the plan covers 15 years. So that's a period up to 2036 in line with the next LDP.
I'll talk to you now a little bit about the timescale and the process. Our project was a large scale project, and obviously all place plans don't have to be that large. Ours was quite wide ranging, and it was therefore a long process. So it was over 2 years. It's been over 2 years. Obviously, as you can see from the diagram here, we did, of course, have the pause for COVID-19. But the sort of maroon stages in the middle show a 9-month community engagement stage, and the purple underneath that, the drafting and the review stage, that actually took over a year. And what that included was the stakeholders helping to consider all the evidence that we'd gathered, and also in that period the stakeholders were invited to comment on a first draft of the place plan. We had over 150 comments from stakeholders, so that part of the process did take a while, but it was good engagement there with the stakeholders. Since this graphic's been made, the timescales have been pushed back slightly, so public consultation for the draft plan was February, March and we are set, we hope, for adoption and publication of the plan in June of 2021. So the whole process has been around 2.5 years in total. And just to give you a flavour of the sort of community involvement that we had, you can see from the graphic here, lots of activity, over 7,000 comments received. We had 48 local organisations that were actively involved in the plan, lots of events and stakeholder meetings. And again, some more pictures of the kind of interactive activities that the consultants help us to devise, some really engaging workshops and things. And we were lucky enough to be able to work with lots of schools at one of their events as well, so that was really nice. The topics that we cover in the place plan, I'll let you have a read of those there. As I say, it's quite a wide-ranging project and taking in lots of different topics and themes. And I'll also show you a snapshot of the structure of the final plan. So for each theme and each topic within that theme, we had particular sections. So we talked about why the subject was important to the town, key facts about the subject, what's happened recently, and also, because it's community-led, the all-important, what did you tell us? What did the community tell us? And quoted various key points that the community had brought up. And then for each section, we also went on to talk about how we were going to address the issues that the community had raised. And the first way that we would address the issues is in the planning policies. So here's an example of those. And also another way to address issues that people raised in their suggestions is to list for each topic a set of projects and actions based on what people told us they would like to see happening. Anyone involved or wanting to be involved with doing a place plan and interested may well be interested in knowing how much time and money it takes, or certainly it took us to work on and produce the plan. Don't let these figures put you off. As I've said, ours was a large scale project and it has already paid for itself. We'll tell you more about that later. But it's just to share, what our resources were required. So 36,000 in project costs, which paid for officer resource, which was roughly 2 days a week over the 2 years or so. And then 12,000 for direct expenditure, materials and fees and things. The funding we received from 20,000 was actually from the town council itself, and 16,000 over 2 years from the regeneration department at Powys County Council. Obviously, if you're a smaller community or you want a place plan which is much more focused on particular topics rather than the large one that we did, it needn't cost this much or take this long. We've got some tips to pass on to you as well.
Thank you, Sorel. So yes, you can see these on the screen here. It's worth just maybe commenting on a couple of them. And I think the first one is we did give a lot of thought, as we indicated earlier, to the scale, cost and how it fits in with other plans. So really do the work up front, saves time later on. And we also developed a very good relationship with Powys County Council from the beginning. They saw the advantages to them of having a good relationship and a good evidence base in Newtown for projects they may want to do in the future. We mentioned you need someone with planning expertise. That does need to come in from outside, as it's unusual for councils to have that. And also to develop a good relationship with your community groups that can help do a lot of the work in the town. They provided a lot of input and a lot of actually the legwork that went on in the community to gather the evidence to go into the plan. And again, we started by already asking from Newtown Community Action Plan the sort of areas that were of interest to people, and we managed to build from plans that we already had. But of course, you could start from the beginning on that. It's with the place plan, you can start from wherever you are at that moment in time. And really important as well is just to actually involve your councillors in each step of the way, because they will need plenty of time for them to feed in their thoughts and also answer any questions they've got about how the plan is developing and how it's working with some community groups. So the benefits. We are going to be able to create a library of evidence that everyone can access and use. And that's for all sorts of things they may want to use the evidence. We've developed relationships, we've had a positive dialogue and engagement with our community, and we've been much more visible in our community than we have been. We've improved our working relationships with several different departments at Paris County Council, including planning, regeneration, highways and housing as well, and also lots of community groups in the town. And it's been an opportunity to meet individuals and talk about town aspirations and the potential for partnerships, for partnership working, and how we can create these opportunities together going forward. We've had a lot of comments from the community about good things going on in the town, and things seem to be happening in the town. Action seems to be taken. And also the evidence that we've collected, even before the place plan has been fully adopted, has allowed it to be used for 4 funding bids. So 2 of them we've actually got the funding for. So there's a 500,000 Welsh Government funding bid for green infrastructure in the town that has come about directly as the result of the evidence collected, and also a 675,000 another Welsh Government funding bid, Green Recovery Project, which have been direct investment into the town centre, looking at buying a town centre shop and finding alternative uses. We've also had a plus £60,000 Brilliant Basics funding opportunity, but unfortunately that one's been put on hold. It's around tourism and been put on hold until after COVID. And it's allowed, the evidence has been used by Paris County Council and the Canal and Rivers Trust for an application that they've put in and I believe received funding for, regarding rights of way around the canal as well. So already before it's adopted, we've had lots of useful evidence used to bring in funding for the town. So diolch, thank you very much.